Now,
on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
8:36 now. It's O'Connor and Company, your favorite way to start your day here in the nation's capital and, well, all around the country. Thanks for joining us. Coming up in 30 minutes, Chris Plant will be joining us. But until then, we got plenty to take care of here. Mercedes Schlapp and I. Good morning, Mercy.
Good morning, Larry.
And good morning to Neil Parrott, the Republican nominee for Congress in the 6th Congressional District of Maryland. It's an open seat now, Neil, as you know, and you know who your opponent is. It's April McLean Delaney, the wife of former Congressman from the 6th District, John Delaney. So, what's the plan?
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Mercy. It's great to be with you this morning. It is an open seat. Things are totally different than 2 years ago when we ran for this seat. Of course, we did really well then. We won on election night. We won with early voting. We didn't win with the vote by mail. But I see this next race to be very, very close. Almost reminiscent of 2014 when Dan Bongino ran against April Delaney's husband, John Delaney. So close. I think we were talking 0.2% of the vote. He almost won. He won on election night. It was the next day they found out the other votes came in. He didn't win.
That was the same year, by the way. Larry Hogan at the top of the ticket stunned the world by winning the governor's race, and he will be at the top of the ticket this time around.
That's exactly
well,
right.
not the very top of the ticket, but for Maryland races, it will be.
One of the two tops. So the top, obviously, is Donald Trump, and he's going to bring out the conservative base that we have to win. And I believe the turnout is on our side is going to be very, very high because he's on the top. Then we're going to have Larry Hogan running for U.S. Senate, and I believe that's going to draw out more Republicans, moderate Republicans, that are very excited to see him get in. That combination of high voter turnout on the Republican side is going to help us as well as I run for the U.S. Congressional seat. And things look really, really good. On the Democrat side, they're kind of depressed. I mean, their candidate, Joe Biden, no one is excited about. Now, I know a lot of people will show up on the Democrat side simply to vote against Donald Trump. That's true. But our side has a lot more excitement, and we're ready to get in the race and win it this time.
Okay.
Let me ask you, Neil, because
go ahead, Richie.
Obviously, McLean Delaney will really try to basically say, well, okay, she wants to work across the aisle, but then at the same time, she's really, going to make you seem like you're a MAGA extremist.
Oh yeah, here, this is from her ad, real fast.
I'm April McLean Delaney, running for Congress to rein in MAGA extremists and find common ground.
Common ground. They're MAGA extremists, but I'm looking for common ground. Mercy. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what they're going to do. They're going to call. So what's going to be your response to her?
She can't run and hide from the fact that she was a high official in the Biden administration, appointed by him. And when she ran for this office, she had to step down from that position in order to begin running, which she did. She is part of the Biden administration. She's part of the machine. She supports an open border. She supports the policies that have led to very, very high inflation that are hurting families and individuals all across our district. I think people are going to see she is not one of us. Actually, my last campaign running for Congress was Neil Parrott. He's one of us. And when we look at me being in the middle of this district, carrying out the district, middle-class kind of person here in this district, engineer who likes to work and solve problems, when we compare me to April Delaney, who lives 20 minutes, she has to drive 20 minutes just to enter the district. She lives in a very rich house in the Potomac area. She is not one of us. She's not one of Western Maryland. She's not part of Upper Montgomery County. She won't represent us well. She's just part of the Biden machine trying to come in and buy this seat. I think people are going to see right through that. She's not David Trone. She won't come in here and spend $13 million. When John Delaney almost lost to Dan Bongino, he spent $1 million in the general, and I expect April to spend $1 million, but no more of her own money in the general election. That's not going to be enough. We're going to beat her. For me, it's going to be much easier to raise money. People see that it's an open seat. They see that it's very competitive because of the lawsuit that I won with the help of Judicial Watch. It's only a D+2. This is one of the most competitive districts in the entire country, so it's going to be much easier to raise money. We're going to go at her probably 1-to-1 at the end of the day with money spent. This is going to be a great seat. We're going to work hard for it. And the contrast couldn't be greater between me and her.
The money issue is a big deal, especially since they're rather wealthy. Not David Trone wealthy, but they're very wealthy. And yes, her husband did put a lot of money into his race. Have you heard from the RNC yet here in the 24 hours since your victory? Will the National Committee pledge support for this effort?
I'm expecting the NRCC to come in and help because unlike before, it is an open seat. Also, unlike before, it's not an island to itself. The NRSC, the Senatorial Committee, has committed millions of dollars to Maryland to help Larry Hogan get over the top, which we need to see him win as well. So with that money, the NRCC is not just coming in on their own. They see that other money is being spent in Maryland. They're not taking a risk. They're joining with other forces. So I'm expecting the NRCC to come in. I've met with them before. I received a text from them after the election, but now it's time for us to get together and sit down and see how we're going to work together on this.
Let me ask you this. You mentioned at the beginning about the early voting situation. What's being done to rectify this issue? I think this is an issue that Republicans have been facing, not only in states like Maryland, but pretty much across the country.
We need to communicate, and I'm really thankful that at the national level, they've started changing their message. They said that we need to bank your vote. And that really did work. I've seen a huge jump, even in this primary, of Republicans that voted by mail. And anyone who's listening, you can vote by mail. You could put it in the mail. You could take it to a drop box. You could even take it straight in to the Board of Elections if you'd like to turn it in. But voting by mail, we're encouraging people to do that. We're encouraging people to vote early so that you get that vote banked in. We need to continue to do that as we go towards November. I mean, the fact is, a certain percent, if we all said we're just going to vote on Election Day, a certain percent are just not going to be able to make it on Election Day. Maybe they got into a car crash. Different things have happened. There's a huge rainstorm in New York. We lost that special election by a large margin because the people, I think it was even snowing, they couldn't get to the polls because of the snow. But the Democrats had already voted early or voted by mail. We have to do that.
It's a big deal. Neil Parrott, by the way, endorsed by CPAC Mercedes, 94% rating with CPAC. He is your Republican nominee for the 6th District in Maryland, and I expect we'll be having plenty of conversations between now and Election Day. Congratulations, Neil. Good to talk with you as always.
It was great talking to you. Thank you, Larry. Thanks for Mercy.